bro. Yo, so this is Xeno here. You know what it is. Full court press episode 1. And well, this is just gonna be me. During the week. You know already how we have a Sunday episode, which is with me, Daryl, and not Jason, Justin. Jesus Christ, I forgot my own panelist names. That's crazy. But um yeah, so when those are happening on Sundays, I just decided, hey, let me try and do some stuff during the week. Now, I'm not gonna say there's gonna be a specific schedule, but try and understand that there's gonna be about once every week, and it's gonna be just about random things in general. This week and this day today is gonna be about hot takes, mainly because I just genuinely want to see like what are the people's hot takes nowadays. I want to say my own hot takes as well, have them come by on stream and stuff like that. Just the typical stuff that people like to do. And I hope you enjoy it, right? So, without the further ado, here is one of my friends from a server called a server that we have. Shout out to J Rob server. By any means. Is it by any gaming? How could I not remember it? And I'm a mod. Jesus Christ.
Yo, yeah, you about to lose your powers. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm about to get packed up for oh god. But yeah. Shout out to Biennies Gaming. But here's one of them, another mod called he named himself Himmy, but his name is Jordan on the server. So what's up?
I mean, what's going on, people? How y'all doing today? Hope y'all are having a wonderful day. I know you're here for me, not here for that guy.
It's insane because he's actually doing my job when I'm not hosting. I'm usually the obnoxious one. That's crazy.
My turn. Haha.
My turn is crazy. Well, okay. So first things first. Yeah, let's start off with you then. What's your hot take?
No.
You wanna start with me? You've heard
yes. My hot take. I want to start with you. Now let the viewers know. Because for the people that don't know, the depths of Xeno, like I know, Xeno Knight. Xeno's a very, very eccentric human being. He likes to give people nicknames. He likes to call people by these, terms that were like banned in the 40s for, slave reasons. But we can go ahead. We can just start with Xeno's hot take because now I can bully Xeno the way Xeno bullies everybody in the Discord.
Mr. Bully.
Yo, what up, my homie? Yeah,
go ahead.
What's
going on, Justin? What's going on?
What's going on, Emmy, man? What's going on, man?
His name is Jordan. Don't let him
all right. Okay. See, he's starting already. He's starting with the bullying.
No, exactly. Like he just giving out people's
just giving out my information without my consent.
How am I getting bullied on my own show?
Because Xeno's not even your real name, but we call you Xeno out of respect.
I've
literally given you guys my government name. Why?
Give the people the government name because they don't know it. So
that's insane.
I mean, you give it my government name twice.
His name is Dario, but we call him Xeno.
Damn. That you just threw my government name.
Like if we're gonna take it there, we're gonna take it.
I mean, if we're gonna take it, we gotta take it there. See,
pause.
I like him.
Please,
see,
pause.
I mean,
hell,
pause.
God, you guys need to really pause that. Jesus.
See, he doing all this to duck giving.
He ain't gonna say the pause moments he had earlier this morning. That's neither here nor there.
Pause. What you mean by that?
We ain't got to tell that.
Okay, but listen.
We ain't got to
speak on that.
Guys, let's chill. It's 4 minutes.
Now he want to chill.
It is 4 minutes in, and I haven't even started anything. Okay, so one of my hot takes, which I've said on the server, is one of the things I believe is going to happen sooner or later. We're going to really have serious discussions about MPJ becoming one of the best 3-point shooters that we've ever seen. Wait, Justin, have I said it on one of the podcasts?
You said it a couple times.
Okay. So the other one I had was I don't think that we would have a top 10 player during this generation. Have I done that on this?
Have you? You haven't done it on the channel now.
Okay, so yeah, one of the things that my hot take is that we're not gonna this guy, bruh. Oh, how you doing? Wait, is he not? Is not popped up? Oh, it's three. How'd you do more than three?
Yeah.
Oh, here's there you go.
100%. Yes.
Yeah. How you doing, Dev?
Dev in the dark.
Oh wait. See,
Anyway,
y'all got dead air. See, let me go ahead and take over.
it's insane. It's
Oh,
insane.
man.
It's
To
insane how
respond to
Dev.
Zeno's first hot take, it's decent. Could MBJ become one of the greatest 3-point shooters since his pass button is broken? Yes. He don't do nothing but shoot. He might as well make him if he gonna shoot him.
I
And
think
I've kind of dissected Zeno's second take about that whole, generations thing, but to stay on topic, we can talk about the first one because we
okay.
can
So
talk
the
about
first one,
MPJ.
the first one we can talk about why I think MPJ can reach that stage. The reason why
There
how you
it
doing,
is.
Dev? The reason
Yep.
why is because I think he has one part that a lot of shooters have, which is irrational confidence. I think that's already ingrained into him in the sense that he knows no matter how bad he's shooting, if he keeps shooting, he's going to make shots because he's just that great and talented as a 3-point shooter, especially with his high combination with his 3-point. It was called with his 3-point accuracy. I think that's a mismatch with most defenders because when he's a 6'10" small forward, there are not much 6'10". There's not much small forwards that actually have the same height as him. Then he's also lengthy as a small forward because I think his wingspan is quite huge as well. Pause. So then that's relax, man. But with that too, I might actually just turn off my screen so I don't see your face. It's not
Oh
deleted.
wow, that's
That's crazy.
crazy.
But
That's crazy.
with his long wingspan, it means he's allowed to kind of shoot over defenders, kind of like a KD type thing. So that's actually also another way that he can actually score efficiently. And I think he's also a great movement shooter. By the way, this season I'm pretty sure he's one of the best shooters in. It was called, but one of the best catch and shoot players in the league. I think he's the gold standard when it comes to that.
Jokic
Um,
tax.
I do agree it's Jokic tax, but at a certain point you have to make them. Everyone on his team was getting the same shots, but he was the most efficient. So I don't know what to say to you. And it was like, and when it was in the playoffs until the finals, he was his 3-point shot was like efficient, efficient. I think at one point I want to say it was like at 70%, like catch and shoot threes. That's insane. Like open catch and shoot threes was insane. So I can't keep just saying Jokic tax. If you're making them, you're making them.
Glitch in the system. Don't count.
I would
That's true.
Oh, how's everybody doing? What's up, Jordan?
Chilling.
But
My boy.
I remember when I had my stream, right, and you said the exact same thing about MPJ. I hear you 100%, and I do agree with some of your points. He is he does create a lot of shots with a mismatch. He shoots over a lot of people. He takes a lot of difficult threes, and he does have the volume and the percentage. But I think it is kind of like hard to project that because we've seen there's still some great shooters today, and there's some great shooters that come before, and there's some great shooters that are stars like Reggie Miller. Obviously he's not gonna catch Steph. Reggie Miller, Ray Allen that were like kind of taking a lot more shots and threes on their own teams
look at this
as
Doug
as
laughing.
the number
Well,
one
Karen.
and as the number one option. And they were taking a degree of difficulty of threes I think Michael Porter Jr. hasn't faced yet, and also was able to create their own shot. As well, shoot off the dribble a little bit, not to the level like a Steph or anything, but like obviously, I don't really think we've seen Michael Porter have the ball handling yet to like take his own shot. He's a great catch and shoot shooter. He got that, but I
But
think also,
that's why I wouldn't have him as like a top 3 or 5 shooter because most of the ones that I would say that are like a top 5 shooter, like like when I say those, I say stuff like
Nash, Dirk, KD,
I would say
Curry.
KD because of the volume that he has. I would say Steph. I'd say something like Clay. I would say Dame before I'd say Clay to be fair because Dame actually has the shot creation with the elite 3-point shooting. And then like Clay, like those players have essentially perfected those type of stuff while he hasn't even gotten to the point where he can kind of shot create his own 3-point shot. And I know Clay's up there, but I think Clay has just been so efficient so he has the longevity aspect. That's why he's up there. But with the others, they have longevity and the ability to self create those shots. That's why I would
Yeah,
say that they were better than MPJ.
Okay.
That's my main reason.
So I got all right. So first off, I got two questions. Okay.
Yep.
So the first question is okay. So my first question is, as far as Michael Porter Jr. goes, where do you think by the time it's all said and done that he will rank?
I think it's not hard. I don't think it would be necessarily hard for him to crack the top 10. The thing is with shooters, right? And I think we need to understand this, is that it's not necessarily that they're better now, is that there's more, they have the ability to take more shots, right? And
No, that's fine. That's fine. That's why
that's why I was gonna let me go on to it. So the reason why I think that's a huge plus in his direction is because if he's able to take more shots and take a lot more attempts at it, it means that his efficiency balances out. It means that he's able to be focused on way more than back in the day. It means that also teams defenses have to actually account for that, meaning that his shooting is actually more impactful than, for example, Steve Kerr's shooting. If you get what I'm saying. Understandably, Steve Kerr is one of the most accurate three-point shooters in the league. But if you're taking two three-point shots a game, sorry, I'm going to take MPJ over you because MPJ is taking way more shots, way more difficult shots as well. And I have to understand that. That's what I mean. I'm not saying that he's better than Steve Kerr right now. I'm saying in future, because at least Steve Kerr has the longevity with it.
That's fine. That's fine. All right, so I got 10 names.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I want you to tell me yes. I want you to tell me yes or no. Dev, also, I want to get your intake. I want to get your participation on this. Okay. All right. So we're gonna start off. So we're gonna start off with Steph Curry.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Reggie Miller.
No.
All right. Kyle Korver.
Possibly.
No.
I think
no. But okay, we'll keep going. All right. Steve Kerr.
Possible.
All right.
That's more possible.
Nash.
Yeah. No.
I don't think so because he can shot create.
Okay.
I put a lot of emphasis on if you can shot create. though. I don't think Klay Thompson.
Okay, so then I'm guessing my next name in Damian Lillard is like
no.
Yeah,
I think Damian Lillard is like a top 3 shooter.
Dame and KD are no. Dame and KD no.
I think Dame is like in the top 5 at lowest because the amount of volume 3-point shooting it takes and the self creation. James Harden would also be in that if you have him up there.
I do. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Okay. So, so far, that's about 6 players that you said. Did you say yeah, absolutely yes to? Steve Nash was a maybe. No. Steve Nash was a no. Steve Nash was a no. Steve Kerr was a maybe. Right. Okay. Klay Thompson.
I think
no.
I think no. But I think that's like the tier that he can actually max out at because Klay Thompson is like the best player of the archetype of being a movement 3-point shooter, being a catch and shoot 3-point shooter, but never ever being
no shot creation.
Yeah, he's a definition of a pure shooting guard.
Wherever you think Klay Thompson is where I think he can peak out as.
Okay, so maybe. So to me, I have Klay like in like the 8-9 range.
Yeah, so if you think he's 8-9, then I think he can be around that stage. Essentially, to me, right? I think anyone. So I value self-creation a lot, right? So if you can self-create and generate your own 3-point shots on an efficient level, then I value that more than just being a catch and shoot 3-point shooter because I understand the difficulty. Remember, you're the one who likes difficulty. And I understand the difficulty of doing that, and I understand doing it at an efficient level and still keeping it as efficient.
I know that's why you never hear whenever you bring this up. I never say like I disagree or I think that's a crazy take. I don't think it's a crazy take, especially considering I have JJ Redick in my top 10. So I don't think that JJ Redick is just like set in stone. So and Peja Stojakovic, I don't think that those 3-point shooters are like set in stone. So like if you come to me and you tell me a player that I'm gonna say Michael Porter Jr. shot like well over 40% this year
also
on very good volume. I mean, I don't see a reason to look at that and say if he did that 5 years in a row, shooting, high volume and shooting 40+%, I don't see why he would
Wait,
not
Zeno,
be
quick
would
question.
not be able to.
I'm sorry, Casual.
No, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Is it 3-point shooting or shooting?
3-point
shooting.
Oh, 3-point. Okay.
That's what I specifically
Yeah.
talked about 3-point shooting because
Yeah, he was very careful with that one.
If it's shooting in general, then I'm so wrong. It's insane.
Yeah, because the mid range shots probably don't shoot those like that.
Yeah.
He does not shoot those.
But no,
and to give you even more validity, the last 3 seasons, one of the seasons he only played 9 games, so I'm not holding that against him. But the other 2 seasons, the 2020-2021 season and this past season, he shot 44% on 6.3 and 7.3 attempts. So he's got the volume, he's got the completion percentage. I mean, if he did that for an extended period of time with minimal injuries, can you truly sit there and say that a player in Stojakovic, JJ Redick, or even a player in Larry Bird, if some of you guys have Larry Bird as your like top 10 3-point shooter, I'm not gonna lie to you. That's a hot take of mine. A lot of people they have Larry Bird like as like their top 3, like somewhere in the top 10 3-point shooters. Quiet as kept before this decade is over with. Y'all finna get Larry Bird packed up out of here with that. Because his volume is not there, and it's not even close to these players today that are marking their territory as some of the best 3-point shooters in NBA history. Let's talk about that if you really want to get to hot takes.
Okay. Before you go on, Rodrigo, how you doing, man?
Yo.
Oh, it's Khalil. It's Khalil. It's this thug. How you doing, Khalil?
What up, Khalil?
You know what I'm saying? What y'all talking about?
So right now we're talking about my hot take about Michael Jr. You know about this hot take. He could be a top 10 shooter of all time, essentially 3-point shooter of all time.
Mm-hmm.
You know how I always said that. What's called? I think that his irrational confidence, and plus with his frame and his athletic ability, and how he's already one of the best, if not the best, catch and shoot player in the league right now. There's only the sky's the ceiling for him as a 3-point shooter. And I said my reasoning is that I think his peak can be as good as Klay Thompson could be. I think if at his absolute best, he could be what Klay Thompson is because he's a movement shooter. He's actually even taller than Klay Thompson, so he has mismatches at his position, so he can shoot over them. And then I'd also say the fact that his inability to self-shot create is something what's stopping me from really, really, believing in him. Because I'm sorry, I believe in self-creation when it comes to threes. Because at a certain point, and if you have the value of self-creation, it's much more harder to game plan you out of that situation, right? So that's why I would say that specifically. So that's why I put a lot of emphasis in like James Harden, Damian Lillard, of course Steph Curry, but like those players that can actually generate their own 3-point shot, Reggie Miller, those type of players. And then I'd say Klay Thompson is much lower on the list than maybe some others because he has zero real shot creation, self-creation from the 3-point line. That's what I said.
Yeah, I can get with that. I think MPJ's ceiling as a 3-point shooter is very, very high. He had like an uncanny 3-point shooting year this year. And nobody really cares. I don't know why. Like it was a historic catch and shoot city.
Trust me, bro. I hope you know. I started realizing this. And remember when I started talking about this? I started talking about this. I want to say in the second series against the Suns. I said, "Yo, the things that Michael Porter Jr. is doing in the playoffs is insane, and I don't know how people are not talking about it."
Really, in the regular season, he was sniping too. Like I was watching Nuggets game, he was being a sniper.
It was insane, though. Like, bro. During that, I think at that point, he was like shooting like 70% on catch and shoot threes. Like this, he was just not missing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, PJ.
Open catch and shoot threes. I mean,
my fault.
Wait, okay.
I just want him to become like a way. I'm still high on him. Like when I watched him in high school, I thought he could be like a number one on the team. Obviously, might not happen. I still hope he can get some shot creation because I think he has a lot of untapped potential in his game. Because like when you watch him in high school, even his coming to college before he got injured, like he could shot create, he could get to the rim a little bit. I feel like he can still. I think he's just more than the shooter in my opinion. I think he's a great shooter, but I feel like for the Nuggets to be elevated even this, especially this season, I feel like he has to step his game up a little
I don't
bit.
think the thing is, I think, Dev, you're not understanding why he's not at that stage. The reason is it's not his own, like him working at the gym or anything like that.
Yeah.
At this point, his body is not allowing him to do so. If you watch his body, if you watch his, like the back of his body, pause. Jesus Christ. If you watch his back and pause, Jesus Christ. If you watch he's less athletic. Yeah, if you watch him move, yeah, he's less athletic than he was before. Like you can see that he's more stiff, especially in his lower and upper back is much more stiff. So when he's trying to get into his dribble combinations, it's not as fluid as it once was. So that's the reason why, and that's the issue that's stopping him from being able to be a shot creator. But I think I sit down and I do think about it, and I think, you know how lucky the league is that he doesn't have shot creation. Imagine a league where Jokic, who is a competent shot creator himself, yeah, has Jamal Murray, one of the best shot creators in the league, and MPJ that can shot create. This league would be finished. Oh my god, this league would be finished.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying because like I think his athleticism has a limit, but I think he also improved a little bit as a defender as well. I'm not saying he's a great defender, but he gave great effort. Like we saw in the Heat series, he's blocking. He was getting some good chase down blocks. He is doing pretty good when they like he can hold his own on some defenders around his side because he's so tall.
I think the issue with MPJ and why he won't ever get his flowers is that he might need to leave Jokic and get to another team.
No.
I'm not saying for us. I think for us we understand. But I think for others they're gonna need to do so because if he doesn't, they're not going to really trust and actually believe in him. They're not going to believe in his actual ability. People are not going to really talk about it.
That's the thing. If you have to get yourself out of a very lucrative position just for some idiots online that don't really watch basketball, to give you your flowers, then that tells you right then and there, how much you should care about it. You know what I'm saying? Like I think the best possible avenue for him to continue to solidify him the way that you are talking about him now is to stay with the Nuggets with that, that reactive offense with the arguable the best playmaker in all of the NBA and Jokic, and continue to benefit off of that. Don't if the moment he goes elsewhere for him to have a larger role, one that hinders him from being able to have longevity. Because I think one of the main things that you spoke about, like to a smaller degree, is with him playing on the Nuggets, he's not having to have that much of a burden, and because of his bad back, he does not have to worry about it's actually a good thing that he doesn't have to worry about having that burden because he's more liable to get into situations that could hurt him, Exactly. So in this situation, not having as much of a burden, all you have to do is catch the ball and shoot, move a little bit, catch the ball, shoot. I think that's the best possible position that he could be in. And he's winning at it too. Like,
let's
true. Not act like that's not a part of this conversation as well.
Exactly. He's a champion now. Yeah. Dev, what's your hot take now?
My hot take. Let's see. My hot take. I've been thinking. I'm just trying to get off the Russ prop because you already know how big of a Russ guy I am. But I'm gonna say that what's the name? I think that the I'm trying to think. What's it called? I think Karl-Anthony Towns gonna have a bounce back year. Honestly, I think Karl-Anthony Towns will go down as one of the best. I think Cat has become underrated. I think he's gonna have a bounce back season and will be the best player in the Timberwolves this season.
Whoa. Okay.
I don't think that's a
Why do you think this
All right.
season, the Timberwolves this season? I think is a hot take. Why? Why do you think so?
All right. The reason why I'm gonna say that because one, I believe his game. I feel like he'll fit. I think he'll figure out next to Rudy. He was very unhealthy this season, obviously, and I think he's already one of the best 3-point shooter bigs in the league. He's really good at driving to the rim. I feel like Ant-Man. Obviously, Ant-Man took his big jump, but I think Cat this year. I think the offense is gonna focus around him and his creation because he can create the most mismatch and create shots in the rim, can get to the basket. Really good free throw shooter, and I feel like he'll take that step up finally. I feel like him and Ant gonna play off each other well, and probably like a 1A 1B type of situation. Maybe not. He might not be the best player, but I think him and Timberwolves gonna have a successful season. Probably like a top 5 seed this up and coming season with the continuity of him being healthy, and I think that Anthony Edwards could take a playmaking zone, allowing Cat to feed off more. So that's another reason why I think Cat could be the best player. Probably not the best player, but I'll say the best scorer or the leading scorer on the team this year.
So your things change from best player.
Yeah, that's the part that sort of confuses me a little bit.
Yeah. I'm gonna change it the best. I'm gonna say the best score. I'm gonna say the best score.
Okay, so that's less of a
okay.
hot
So then
take
what's the hot take? Because that's not really a hot take to me.
All right, fine. Russell Westbrook has a top 5 1-year point guard peak of all time to me.
I think.
Say that again.
Russell Westbrook has a top 5 1-year point guard peak to me. His 2017 peak for point guard is top 5 for 1 year.
Relatively, to be fair, point guards peaks are not like as high in general. Like I don't really sit there and think, other than Magic and Steph.
That's what I'm thinking right now. Like Magic stuff. Like
other real point guards.
A lot of people.
Could you say CP3s? Could you say CP3s?
Yeah, a lot of people argue CP3 08. A lot of people argue with me about Jason Kidd. And
Steve Nash.
Argue with me about Steve Nash as well. His 1-year peak. And the reason why I have Russell Westbrook ahead of per se Chris Paul and Nash because his degree of difficulty in 2017 with Oklahoma City Thunder with the lack of space and him able to create easy shots to the rim for Steven Adams, him able to create playmake for Victor Oladipo before as a non-All-Star Oladipo and a not great 3-point shooter around him with Domantas Sabonis, who wasn't the player he was yet, and he had great rim protection that year. He was also really good at shooting at the 3 that year. Well, not great. He's shooting 34%. It was an outlier season. But
it was his best 3-point shooting season for his career.
Yeah, his best 3-point shooting season for sure. And he had a good mid-range, pull up mid-range off the bank shot, which we all know. He was very clutch
and Zeno, well. you and I always talk about how Westbrook's finishing is actually dookie. That was one outlier season where he actually was above average.
I was thinking about it myself. I was like, damn, his 3-point shooting was kind of like it's not overrated, but when you look at the numbers,
it was the volume. The volume
is the kind of the volume. And now even then, I would even say because like he's shooting like consistently like 52% at the rim, and you're like, heesh. Like other guards be finishing at 55, 56. No, other guards will be finishing at 60% ish.
So okay. So understanding that, right, Zeno, for the majority of his career, that his finishing has been, bad, right?
Not really bad, but
not bad, but average. Yeah. Understanding that, and this is a question for you too, Dev.
Mm-hmm.
Has Westbrook always been overhyped for his career? Like,
I actually sit down and think so. No. I actually disagree with it being bad because when you put into context the spacing on his team and when he's playing with certain players like Andre Roberson and like him being a literal non-spacer whatsoever.
When you have although yes, you don't have the spacing with Andre Roberson. Yes. You got to remember Serge Ibaka developed a 3-point shot in the mid-range towards like 2013 to 2016.
It was still iffy.
It
was still iffy. I don't think
his mid-range. No. You could disprove me with stats, but if I remember correctly, I think Serge Ibaka's mid-range was money. It was his 3-point was iffy, but his mid range was money. So you have space there.
But even mid range space, like okay, he's a good spacer from that stage. I still think that's not as much of a spacer as like like if he was.
Yeah, but like you also got to remember at that point in the NBA, they hadn't gotten to the point of spacing. Yeah, I mean this is the same league where you had Chris Paul. You had Chris Paul playing alongside Blake Griffin, and DeAndre Jordan worked well with Blake Griffin in the paint. And
I do have another hot take after this. If you can real quick.
Yeah. So I guess when it comes to me, and I'm thinking of Westbrook, the more I think about it, the more I think that although Westbrook's production cannot be taken away from him, right? Mm-hmm. I think when we talk about him truly ever being as like the best point guard in the NBA at any point in his career, I think it's overstated because I think he was more highlight driven when it came to his ranking than the actual statistical success.
I don't necessarily disagree with that, to be fair.
But then if that's the case, then I have to give even more respect to Chris Paul because that means that Chris Paul had to be the best point guard by default for pretty much every year up until Steph Curry's ascension. He had to be the best point guard in the NBA for every other year outside of 2011 when Derrick Rose had won his MVP.
I'm not necessarily. Once again, I'm not really necessarily sure about that, but I wouldn't necessarily argue against it. I just think him being like a top 2 point guard, whether it's the best or the second best, I think that was still a debate, anyways. And I think it's not a debate where it's one sided. So
I think 2017. Me as an OKC fan was looking at Westbrook and saying, no, I look at his numbers, right? But then when you add the context, how many times he forced the issue, well, of course your numbers are going to look that dominant when you're forcing the issue as much as he was.
To be fair, his
horrible. Say it again.
Says to be fair, his team is horrible.
Yeah. His team was not horrible. Come on, man.
I mean, with space.
Westbrook, KD. You had
no. You said 2017.
No. I said outside of 2017.
Okay.
Outside of 2017, I don't think anybody should ever question how what Westbrook meant to that team with what he had to deal with. That was one of the teams where there was like little to no spacing. I think Victor Oladipo was like the only like quality shooter, and he's not even a good shooter.
Yeah.
And
June thug, hiding, man.
Oh, what's going on?
Hold on, Junebug. What?
Yeah, June thug. But yeah, carry on.
But yeah, I think Westbrook for the majority of his career, I don't truly feel like hindsight. I don't truly feel like it was ever really a contest between him and the actual best point guard in the game.
Also, Junebug, your mic is muted, by the way.
My other hot take is that I don't know how you guys feel about this.
Can y'all hear me?
That might be a hard take.
Yeah, what's going on?
What's good, Junebug?
Am I echoing y'all?
No.
There's a little static after you finish up.
My hot take I want to get off is that prime Marcus Gasol is better than DeMarcus Cousins.
Marcus Gasol.
That's a little bit of a hot take, but I'm interested.
That's not a hot take. That's not a hot take at all. That kind of. I don't know.
I don't think it's super crazy, but it low key is a hot take because I've never heard it before.
Right. Exactly.
I had to get my bag. I was a little unprepared, but I got my bag for that one. But the reason why I got prime Marcus Gasol over prime DeMarcus, I'm gonna get the he cleared some defensively. That's one part. Marcus Gasol is one of the best defensive players of the last 5 years. 5 years. Obviously,
5 years. No.
Mm-hmm.
Not 5 years. Not 5 years.
5 years.
5 years. Not 5 years.
Say 10 years. Sure. 5 years. He's older.
Yeah, I forgot about these last couple years. Well, in his prime, he was one of the best defenders in the league. Obviously,
right.
He won a Defensive Player of the Year in 2013, but obviously
should have been
LeBron. But
it should not have been LeBron, but okay.
But with DeMarcus, his value, I think with his value to his team meant more than DeMarcus Cousins. Granted, he did have a better team all around than DeMarcus Cousins. But
I wouldn't say that now.
But I feel like that defensive team, him being the anchor of that defense, was great value to the Memphis Grizzlies. And also offensively, he was able to finish really well at the rim. He had a pretty good mid range, and then he developed a decent 3-point shot. In like 2016 and 17, he shot like 38% from three. Granted, it's on low volume. He developed a pretty decent 3-point shot for like 3 years of his career. And even for Toronto, that year he was on Toronto, it was pretty decent. And he was very impactful in the finals run in Toronto as well with his defense.
I think DeMarcus was really impactful to the Kings because the Kings.
You hear that, right? I'm not the only one.
Yeah. Okay. So I just think that in my opinion, I think Marcus Gasol's value was a lot more than Marcus Cousins.
I know you were speaking about so essentially your whole point was that essentially he clears him defensively and his playmaking is playmaking. Do you think his playmaking is comparable?
I think his playmaking. I think I have him as a better playmaker.
Okay, and then you're saying that his 3-point shooting is what also brings him above it.
No. It doesn't bring him above it, but it's another factor that helped his team out. He was able to develop that.
Oh, okay. So Dev, are you saying you're basically saying that Marcus Gasol's defense was more impactful than what DeMarcus Cousins brought on the offensive end, and then playmaking wise, it's comparable.
Yes, I believe that Marcus Gasol was a lot more impactful to winning, and to where his team with his defense, his playmaking, to able to set up some to pass out the post, to pass to different various cutters, and he also was good offensively. So I don't think like DeMarcus Cousins clears him offensively. I think it's a little bit closer than what we would like to say. Obviously, as a scorer, DeMarcus Cousins is a better scorer, but I think Marcus Gasol is also very efficient in his scoring during the post, the mid range.
Was he?
Let me check. I think he was pretty efficient. He wasn't like terrible.
No, he wasn't terrible, but like for a big man,
his efficiency at the rim, it will surprise you. Like he was not efficient at the rim.
Marcus Gasol wasn't that efficient.
I thought you were talking about DeMarcus.
No. I was talking about Mark. As far as Marcus Gasol goes, like if you want to go and look at his numbers, like you would be surprised it's not. It's not what you would think a 7-footer should be as far as efficiency wise. Now, granted, especially towards like the back end, like after he won Defensive Player of the Year, he started to become more 3-point heavy.
Yeah.
But yeah, he wasn't blowing anybody away shooting. Fun fact, by the way, he averaged 66.7% from the 3-point line 2016, albeit on low volume.
I need to see this.
So there you go. The more you know.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, he shot like once every 2 years. Jesus Christ. Bro shot once every 10 games.
No facts.
Ultimately, I just think probably Marcus Gasol was a little bit more impactful than DeMarcus Cousins, and I would just like to say he's a lot closer than what people would like to say it is. And
I agree with you with your takes. I feel like with your explanation, I definitely think a argument can be made that that Marcus Gasol's defensive his defense, specifically his rim protection, is more valuable, especially at that time of the game, which was I want to say like 2009 or 2010 all the way to like I say 2016 is when we went full-fledged just perimeter oriented. I think his rim protection was definitely more valuable than DeMarcus Cousins. The problem that I'm having with your logic is it's not close offensively, to be honest with you. Like just
okay.
I think playmaking wise, I think you have a point. I think quiet as kept, Marcus Gasol's playmaking is like he was one of the best passers for much of his years. Yeah. But DeMarcus Cousins, what he brought offensively when it came to his mobility on the court, being able to cover so much space, him being able to make a lot out of nothing, to be quite honest with you, because the teammates that he had
I was going to bring up,
the teammates he had is not even close to comparable to Marcus Gasol. And then I would like to also offer this, that an argument can be made that Marcus Gasol's defensive production can also be a product of the defensive the defensive system, but also having the best defender on your team it's very comparable to our debates often between you and me. You know, when we talk about Giannis and AD, when I bring up Giannis's defensive ability, an argument can be made that the reason why Giannis is able to do so much because he has
great point of defenders.
Andrew Holiday, yeah.
And so when it comes to Marc Gasol, he also does have a player in Tony Allen who's the best when it comes to perimeter defense than anybody else in the league at that time. Not to mention, he also has a competent defensive head coach. He also has a player, Mike Conley, who's not a slouch defensively. He also has a player, I want to say for most of the years, it was like Quincy Pondexter or something like that. Zach Randolph was there, which I don't count Zach Randolph as a defensive player. I'm pretty sure you don't. He's mid. But that argument can also be made that Marc Gasol's defense can also be like sort of put a little too high on a pedestal. Due to him having Tony Allen there, whereas DeMarcus Cousins, his offensive production was his offensive production. A lot of the games that you could see, even though they had a losing record, a lot of the games were closer than they really should have ever been because of DeMarcus Cousins' offensive production.
I do want to add on to the fact that DeMarcus Cousins, the team gap is actually something that does need to be spoken about because of the fact that at the end of the day, it's like certain stuff I do agree. When you get to the stage of all timers, like the top 15 players, like KG can overcome a bad situation and you can understand he's that great. Mm-hmm. But when you're not at that stage, like DeMarcus Cousins, if you don't have even a competent team around you to push you to the playoffs, you can't do it. Like you're not that elite of a player to affect all those called the whole court at that magnitude. So that I agree with Justin.
And also, casual, I would agree with you that I guess I was really harping on the defensive part when it came to it because I've been trying to reevaluate how I judge players and I was doing with current players, especially like reason why I said that because I was thinking about Anthony Davis earlier and why I think he's better than Dame. Because I just think that Anthony Davis is different because Anthony Davis is the best defender in the league, and he's also good offensively. That's why
he's competent.
I had a debate over him with Dame. I guess I was using that with DeMarcus Gasol, and I will agree with you. DeMarcus Cousins is clearly the more polarizing offensive player and scorer than Marcus Gasol. If you just give DeMarcus Cousins the ball, he's obviously way more able to create his shot and get a bucket than Marcus Gasol. And I can see that. I guess that was my hot take. I guess I value defense.
It's not a bad take, and to be honest with you sort of breaking the mold with it, low key, because I've never heard anybody say that, and it's not crazy to say. I think I also do want to say this. Although yes, I think I still think that DeMarcus Cousins is the better player. I do think another part of Marc Gasol's game that I don't think you harped on enough. Well, no, not Marc Gasol. DeMarcus Cousins' game that I don't think you harped on enough was the fact that how amazing of a rebounder he was. I think he's a superior rebounder. Marc Gasol. Oh, you talked about it?
No, I forgot. I did.
Whoa.
I forgot to talk
about it. Yeah. Like I think Marc Gasol was underwhelming as a rebounder. To be honest with you.
And also another reason I was gonna get into, I should say LaMarcus Aldridge, but I haven't done enough research to say about LaMarcus Aldridge over Boogie. I didn't do it, so I'm not gonna say that. I was gonna say LA, but I think another reason I said that is because like
wasn't it?
A lot of on my phone,
No, go ahead and then I'll bring you back. Come on now.
Oh no, the reason I got this hot take, I got the hot take because of the Boogie. Like when I'm offline and I'm just chilling and talking to my friends, it's a lot of Boogie prompt I hear. Like, oh, he's easily better than Jokic and Joel Embiid today. I'm like, no, he's not. So it's kind of like not a hater in me, but I'm like, kind of get like I'm trying to.
No, I get it because I'm sort of the same way when it comes to Tatum. You hear Tatum's name being above players that you legit don't think he's better than yet, and you sort of get into that. You sort of get into that mode of not necessarily I don't like this player, but y'all are hyping this player up too much to the point of where I need to bring him down a peg. Like you take on that responsibility. So I get you.
I hate to do it. And I hate to do it too because I like the man. I like this player.
Yeah.
So to me now, what I'm trying to say is that who the hell's Kobe Simmons? What I'm going to be talking about now is my last hot take, and then it's on to Justin, and then we're probably going to wrap it up unless someone else joins in. my last hot take is I don't think in this new generation we are going to see another top 10 player being made. And the reason why, right, when I say generation, I'm saying from Embiid's age downwards, because Embiid is 30 and then you just keep going downwards from that. And the reason why, right, is when you look at all of the players at that are around that age. So you start off with Embiid. Embiid is injury prone, so he has the Hall of Fame type, not the generational level regular seasons, but that doesn't transfer into the playoffs due to injuries or his shot leaving him. Jokic is one of the best offensive players we've ever seen, but I personally have an issue with this defense, and I think as a as a center, being a mediocre defender is such a huge huge liability, because your big is the most important centerpiece in your defense. So if he's not able to do his job, which is being a rim protector, that is a huge weakness of your defense. And how that's way more of an issue rather than, a guard being bad at defense, because you can hide the guard. Anyways, and then I said Giannis. Giannis is weakness is well documented, has no self-creation, no post moves, cannot really get to it. Doesn't have a jumper either. He essentially has no half-court real skills other than like a weak looking hook from the post, which isn't really necessarily consistent. And then I would say when I move on to some of the younger players like Luka, I just don't know if his defense, I don't know if his offense is versatile enough to really push him into the top 10, because I view him right now as similar to similar to like Harden. Harden has his offensive ability, but he was so ball dominant that it affected teammates that played with him. So I think Luka's kind of more of a even more extreme version of that somehow. But I think that he's way more skilled in the sense that he actually also have a mid-range. His post game is even more defined and better. I think he can get to the rim better than Harden as well. So I think if he can grow out his offensive game while being a better defender, I think that's possible, but I'm not necessarily sure still. And then I said the only place that I think has the possibility of cracking the 10 that I've seen is Victor Wembanyama, because of his ceiling. I think it's Luka, and I think I'm not even sure. I don't even believe in this, but Anthony Edwards also has a possible chance, but I'm nowhere near as high on Anthony Edwards as some other people. I think he could be a all-timer. I don't think he's going to be top 10 level.
This Ant-Man prompt. There's been a lot of Ant-Man prompt. I'm going to stop pushing it. I have to go against Ant now too. I've been hearing a lot of Ant-Man prompt, but I'm not going to do it yet.
I'm right along with you. I'm not finna say what I want to say yet, but I truly feel like people need to be careful with when it comes to predicting some of these players being top 10, cracking the top 10, because some of these players, although yes, I think that they have high potential. When we're talking about the top 10, we're talking about generational
echelon.
Yeah, we're talking about generational talent. It's the creme de la creme. When we talk about the LeBrons, the MJs, the Kareems, the Hakeems, the Tim Duncans, players like that, Steph Curry, who just entered into this top 10 conversation. We're talking about players that had to do not just have the talent to be able to skyrocket their team to unheard of heights, but they have to do it for an extended period of time. We're talking longevity has to come into effect. So when we're talking about when I rank
to a degree.
Yeah, when I rank my top 10, I don't really care too much about the team success, because I understand that team success is not something that one player has complete control over. So I don't really hold too much weight on them if they're not able to win the championship, though I do hold weight let's say Jimmy Butler for this case, right? A lot of people give him a lot of credit for getting them to the NBA Finals, which I also do too. And I didn't expect them to beat the Nuggets, but I do also have to penalize him for the fact that a lot of these games that came down to the wire, he was the one that made some of the most critical mistakes that cost him, not just the game, but the series. So like in that sense, like when we talk about players all the time, we have to take into that account. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just one of those things. It's like, like you can't control it. You can't control winning, but what you can control is you can control your production
and how good you are as a player.
And also
how good and how much you improve over time.
And also, it's kind of like we just got to wait until the end of the career and see at that type of point. Because right before when Curry got drafted, no one knew Steph Curry was going to be this good. No one knew Curry was going to be the greatest shooter of all time. No one knew he's going to be at this. Like even LeBron exceeded expectations. Like when LeBron came to high school, no one thought he's going to be considered either the GOAT or second greatest player of all time.
Actually, I'm pretty sure that was a thing. That was literally when he was in high school. People were
when he was in high school, people were predicting him to be the GOAT, but it didn't. To be honest with you, it didn't become. Crazy. To be honest with you, when it comes to LeBron, it didn't even really become like a serious conversation until he came back 3-1. Until he came back 3-1.
Yo, what's up, guy? What's up, John Wall? How you doing, bro?
Jordan, like when
you compete with Jordan, you have to be either perfect or you have to do something that he's never done. You have to do something that he's never done, and that says a lot because MJ has done damn near everything. So that's that. But yeah, I think when you first said it, I sort of was taken aback because I'm like, damn, like nobody. You don't think nobody from today's game could be able to crack the top 10? But the more I think about it, I think there's some of these players, like it's going to be really it's going to be an uphill climb for them,
especially when you sit down and think about it. This season, like nowadays, like genuinely think about it. This is like the era where versatility means a lot. So when you have some issues that hurt your value a little bit more than it would in other eras, in my opinion. Because like, for example, in the 90s, being a great playmaker wasn't as pronounced. So that's why Michael Jordan is able to be that elite as a player in general, because being a great, like an all-time playmaker wasn't needed as high as nowadays, for example, to generate a great offense. Even though nowadays you can still get away with like a great to elite playmaker still, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you're the last one. So what's your hot
okay, so I've been pandering about this for a while. Nobody seems to give me like the time of day and knock me off the sledge. But I think that by this season's end, I think Devin Booker is going to be a top 7 player. Currently, right now, when I look at my top 10, I have Giannis number 1, Jokic number 2, Steph number 3, Luka number 4. I have Joel Embiid number 5. I have Anthony Davis number 6. I have Jason Tatum 7th. And then I have Devin Booker 8th. So he's right outside.
You think he's above KD already?
I think he's above KD. I think he's above LeBron. I think Devin Booker's level of impact has surpassed him at this point of their career, which is nothing.
You think you're also better than Kawhi though? Is this
no? I didn't count Kawhi because Kawhi is
always fair enough.
Exactly. Which to be fair, I also was pandering about.
He's better. Wait, he's better than Jimmy Butler.
I think he's better than Jimmy Butler.
I disagree with you.
I think he's better than Jimmy Butler. But to be fair, the reason why I didn't count for the same reason I didn't count Kawhi Leonard. I think you could say that why would I count Anthony Davis? But he just had a healthy season this past.
Exactly.
So that's why I put him back into the list. But I mean, Devin Booker and Jimmy Butler. When it comes to that, I think my main gripe, I think you and me have talked about this before on the show. I think Jimmy's offense is a little bit overstated, although he had that first round, amazing output of production against the Milwaukee Bucks. I think for the rest of it and for the rest of the playoffs, I think it started to become the Jimmy show, even though Jimmy is not the show for Miami Heat. I think it's the Eric Spoelstra show. And
yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. That team is really built on the Eric Spoelstra's ideals and how they actually implement it to win games. I'll be real with you. I'm telling you this. Like, this is when I really sit down and think: do people understand the? I know it sounds like I'm like meat riding, but genuinely, pause. Like, he's actually that great of a coach. I think that he's clearly the best coach in the league.
Yeah,
clearly.
Yeah,
because with this type of team, outside of the, I do agree with the shooting variants that they were hot from three, like white hot from three. Ironically, they named white hot Miami, so that's cool. But, but like they,
just leave that alone, right? Just leave that alone.
I get it. But the fact that the schemes that they do defensively, like the amoeba-like man-to-man defense, zone defense. Sorry,
they run zone, but they also have some mans that they also have some man-to-man defense that throw teams off guard, like the Milwaukee Bucks. That specifically Giannis.
Yeah.
They do like this weird. I don't know how to describe it. Can you describe it? When it comes to like them facing the Bucks in the playoffs, because for some reason I can't really explain it, but like Giannis struggles with it heavily. They'll place Bam there, right? As like they'll show him, and then they'll put him back behind the scenes, and sort of like baiting Giannis
into doing mid ranges, and essentially, I feel you. So essentially, what they were doing is that they'll put Bam onto Giannis. Even if it was not Bam, they would put what's his name, Cody Martin on Giannis, and essentially they would show another player, and then they would go back, essentially trying to bait him into a mid range or bait him into a hook, because that's his weakest attribute. And essentially they were trying to, I wouldn't say they were slowing down the game. I think they kind of was for them, simply because Giannis's best attribute is being in transition. If you have less transition plays, then, well, he won't be able to use his greatest asset, which is his transition. So that was actually one of the biggest reasons why Giannis was that great. Where did this even come from? I just realized.
Well, all right. So we were talking about how amazing of a coach Eric Spoelstra was, but going back to it, when as far as Devin Booker goes, I think the only competition that he's best scores, especially around the rim, which makes me scratch my head with why he does not attack the rim more often. But that's neither here nor there. 6'10" James Harden incoming. But
yeah, that's a 6'10" James Harden. Golly, Jesus.
But when it comes to Jason Tatum is so dynamic of a player, and especially with his improvement this past season from the playmaking standpoint, and routinely being one of the league's best forward rebounders. I think that's the hardest thing for Devin Booker. That being said, I think one thing that Devin Booker has on his side that Jason Tatum cannot, and I'm this close to thinking that it will never happen, is consistency. Devin Booker is routinely the league's most efficient mid-range shooter. He has.
KD would like to say hi.
Well, he's one of the league. Like, I mean, come on. KD is like the league. Like, he's the gold standard. Like, what are we talking about here?
I mean, you said it.
What are we talking about here? But like, Devin Booker is routinely one of the league's best scorers.
I love how Dev just pops up and he just looks at you. Like, it makes me laugh every time.
He just looks around. He's like, huh?
Because I'm doing multiple things, like my phone's about to die and all that. And now I'm talking to Dub about racism and stuff. I'm like, oh Lord.
About what?
Well, no, let's keep it bubble. Let's keep it bubble.
Okay.
It's not racist. Well, not Dub. It was like I'll explain to you later in the Discord, and I'll talk to you about it.
I think Devin Booker as a scorer, he has developed really a bag that we talked about it last week. I think Devin Booker has developed a game that is comparable to Kobe Bryant from the standpoint of he's more comfortable in so many areas that he's not worried about where you send him, because he's very confident that he will make it, and he will make it efficiently. And so the next step to his game is making it so that he can use that scoring gravity and that scoring prowess to make his team better. That includes a Bradley Beal. That includes a KD, which I think is probably going to happen this season because he's going to play point guard, or he's going to be the ball dominant player for the Phoenix Suns this upcoming season because they don't have a point guard. So I fail to see any reason that you would put the ball in KD's hands because I think it's well like scouted that KD is not.
My phone might have died. I wanted to say I appreciate you guys for letting me on.
Hey,
next time I'll always tune in and all this. And I'll catch y'all later. I'm gonna catch you in the Discord, Xeno.
No problems. In a bit, bro.
All right, Brody.
All right.
But yeah, I think KD. I think it's not a secret that KD is not the playmaker. I don't think that it's a secret that Bradley Beal's playmaking is not as high as some people hope it will be. But Devin Booker has shown before, and he showed before KD even came, that given larger responsibility with the ball, he can be able to make the right play rather routine.
I don't think that the notion of him being a top, being a top 7 player is necessarily a hot take, because I do want to say that although I don't have an 8th, because I do respect the longevity of what other players have been doing, so he just doesn't fit my top 10.
Okay. That's. I mean, if longevity for right now is like your. When I talk about players like the greatest, I usually use like this season and last season, or this season and last season. You say greatest. I'm not talking greatest. I'm talking
greatest. I mean the best. I mean the best. Because we're talking about this season and last season. That's usually how much I use,
this upcoming season and last season. Yes.
Yeah. So I do get what you're saying. I'm just saying because I even disagree with the placement you have right now, because I think Devin Booker should be like 11-ish, not 8.
Really?
I don't. Yeah, I don't. Even if he cracks,
I'm guessing it's KD, LeBron, and Jimmy for you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I would have. So, if he's 11 or he's 10, it's one of those two. I'm sorry, I just can't put him above those players, but they've been doing it way more for a longer, sustained period of time. I do believe if he's able to replicate something like what he did this playoffs, then I will agree. Yes, I think it is his time for him to reach the top 10, and he's able to be put in these types of conversation. Do I believe that it's a hot take or anything? I don't necessarily believe so, because I think that the main reason why people are not willing to actually listen to this take right now is because it was really one playoff series, and the playoff series were really cut short because Denver was just much better. But I think that if he has one more season, especially with the team that he has right now, it might not be as defensively gifted as it was last season, but with the offense that they're going to get, not the spacing, because KD is gonna probably be more of a 3-point shooter this season, and Bill's probably gonna have to be more of a 3-point shooter and try and drive more. But with the amount of help he's gonna have this season, I think that his efficiency, this is the time for him to really peak as a scorer, because he's gonna have so much offensive talent around him, so he could actually be that great as a scorer. I think this season is going to be a make or break it due to his playmaking. Now, if his playmaking gets to the stage where we talk about, then yes, then I'll agree. Yep, he's going to be a top 7 player. But because at that point in time, his playmaking, being an elite playmaker, I think he actually needs to reach an elite playmaker.
I don't think he needs to reach an elite
great. I think great to elite playmaker is what allows me to say, okay.
I think good to great. I think good. I think he's already good. I think the next step is to be a great playmaker, which I think he's capable of doing, because I think the only thing that I think he needs to start involving in his game is the pick and roll aspect.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's his next step. That would.
I'm now just thinking of PNRs with KD. Jesus Christ!
It's my God! It's gonna be
sorry. So that is actually gonna make me sick.
Him and KD.
Imagine him and KD reverse PNR. All right, let's move on.
Him and DeAndre Ayton. I think him as a pick and roll player. That's the next step that leaps him into a great playmaker, and then solidify what we saw in the in the postseason defensively, which, like you said, was a small sample size. If he's able to do that for an extended period of time, and it could be able to leap the Phoenix Suns into a defensive a defensive ranking that I don't think either of us believe them to be truly with the makeup of this team.
I think they're like a mid defensive team, if not
Exactly. So if he leaps them into, let's say he leaps them, let's say his defensive production, which which would be like as a point of attack defender, and developing on the off ball defensive side, and he turns them into, let's say 12th. Let's say 12th.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, and I think that it would be undeniable that he is, outside of Giannis, Jokic, Steph, Luka, Joel Embiid, Anthony Davis, that there should be a serious consideration to have Devin Booker right there at the 7th spot. Because at that point he has the offensive tools, and on the defensive side, he's better than the majority of the guys outside of Jimmy and Tatum.
Okay. Like that's what I'm saying. I don't necessarily see that's a big issue, to be fair. So that hot take is, I actually do think that that's actually a decent hot take. I ain't gonna lie to you. I agree with it as well. I agree with the notion.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess
I just wanted to say it so you can say I'm right.
Jesus Christ! All right, buddy. All right. Sounds like I was right. Okay, buddy. It's just because I'm always winning arguments with you. Anyways, so it's gotten to the end. We haven't had any more people kind of join up and see. So all I have to say to you guys is thank you very much for all of you who joined the stream, who came in, spoke, whether it's just a few words and then popped out, Jordan coming in to antagonize me, that fraud. And then, Justin came in here and, spoke his own ish. But yeah. Lastly, thank you all for watching the stream. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I want to make sure that you guys had a good time, man.
Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and tune in Sunday. We will be having two special guests to talk about the Atlanta Hawks and Oklahoma City.
Maybe even 3.
Shit. Might be tough.
Hey.
All right, but y'all tune in. Thank you guys for coming in, man. You guys are awesome. Your takes was hot, and I'm glad to talk basketball with you guys anytime.
Bye.
That was a good ass show, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Good part 1.
Wait, why is it not ending? I'm cooked.
Oh,
1 second.